fund faced by a myriad of challenges. Petitioner moves to court to stop Adani from expanding JKIA, citing lack of public participation and Adani's alleged history of corruption, bribery and human rights abuses worldwide. Plus, addressing religious extremism, promotion of religious tolerance among recommendations of the task force set up in the aftermath of the devastating Shakahola massacre. Well, good evening to you. Thank you for making time for us right here on Punchline. I'm Alan Owino. Our sign language interpreter for this session is Evelyn Wangoi. Now, the promise of universal health coverage for all Kenyans is in jeopardy as the much-awaited social health insurance fund may not be implemented in time due to shortcomings within the authority. Parliament's Health Committee assessment of the Social Health Authority revealed that it does not have the capacity to hire its own staff and relies on staff from the National Health Insurance Fund to carry out its activities. This, among other issues, has seen the Health Committee question whether the implementation period should be extended further. Here is Ben Kirira with more.
House of Parliament and
the National Assembly's Health Committee has identified several hiccups in the implementation of the Social Health Authority and the transition to the Social Health Insurance Fund.
The urgency with which we passed these laws, and again, the urgency with which we want to have them implemented, we will not meet any of these targets.
The committee has found out that the Social Health Authority lacks an organizational structure, preventing it from taking over the national health financing role from the NHIF. There are only approximately 4 months left before NHIF's mandate lapses. Within this time, the organizational structure must be established, Kenyans registered, and Social Health Authority operationalized.
NHIF currently has got so many staff. How far have we gone even in terms of appraising?
The HR instruments were completed in April and they were submitted. Remember, before they are approved, you cannot begin any process.
If we are waiting for the instrument to be approved, then it looks like we may not necessarily hit the date.
The authority has blamed court cases for delaying the registration and approval of human resource instruments critical for the rollout of SHIF. The Ministry of Health further states that SHA is awaiting approval of HR instruments by the Public Service Commission.
The court gave a ruling on that on the month of July. So you can see the delay that has been caused not out of the making of the ministry or the SHA, but because of the court cases.
You have a new establishment. You have a new, old staff. How do you transit them? Especially with accountability, claims, reimbursements. How do you transit them and hold them accountable should anything go wrong?
As of this morning, 464,263 Kenyans had been registered on SHA, a small fraction of the total number of Kenyans who need to be enrolled, with both Ministry of Health and SHA officials struggling to explain the registration systems to the committee.
You're saying you're in the process of procuring. How are we registering members already in a system that is under procurement process?
We are using the current systems of SHA to register members.
Current systems of NHIF or SHA?
The SHA. We created a new portal under SHA.
The system was configured in-house to allow for registration. So once this has been, once the registration is done, now it's supposed to integrate with the main system that is currently on an advanced stage of procurement.
The emerging uncertainties come at a time when Kenyans have in multiple instances complained of suboptimal services offered by NHIF, hoping for a change with the incoming SHIF. Ben Kirera, K24, Nairobi.
A petitioner has moved to court seeking to stop Adani Airport Holdings Limited from expanding JKIA. In a petition filed at the Milimani Law Courts, Isaac Lango Guyo wants the court to nullify all proceedings and agreements related to the project by Adani Project Holdings, saying that there was no public participation in the project and transparency, thereby infringing the constitution. And as Brian Amwaina reports, the government now says that JKIA is 10 years behind its development master plan.
Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The move to have Kenya's biggest airport undergo a facelift that will make it competitive and at par with its global counterparts is now hanging in the corridors of justice after a petitioner moved to court to stop the upgrade that was to be done by Adani Airports Limited. The petitioner has asked the courts to cancel the deal, citing a lack of proper public participation. He asked the courts to declare the entire transaction as unconstitutional, null and void. Another prayer was for the courts to order the immediate cessation and nullification of all proceedings and activities related to the said PIP. In documents seen by K24 in the proposed deal, Adani Group sought to build a new passenger terminal, refurbish the existing terminals, construct a second runway, and enhance cargo handling facilities. It is a move that caused an uproar online, forcing the government, through Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, to come out and clarify. Mudavadi on Tuesday, through a statement, revealed that the government is reviewing a proposal by Adani Group under the Public-Private Partnership 2024, saying it is not yet inked and that due process will be followed.
I have seen many people saying William Ruto wants to sell the airport. Am I a madman? How do you sell a strategic national asset?
The government chose to entertain the idea of Adani coming to the rescue of upgrading the JKIA, saying the expansion of the airport was estimated to cost 216 billion Kenya shillings, money that the exchequer could not finance owing to the current financial difficulties in the country. Mudavadi argues that JKIA is 10 years behind its development schedule as per its long-term master plan and is lagging behind its regional competitors on quality of infrastructure, innovation and technology. The latest incidents that have put the airport on the international news following its leaking roofs and flooding pathways, highlighting the need to upgrade. Mudavadi said the country is currently facing a tight fiscal space due to the public debt burden, and it was therefore prudent to look at the option of public-private partnerships. He said this is the direction the government took in its budget policy statement 2024 to have additional infrastructure investment. The deal to have Adani in the country will run for 30 years under the operating model, with the company getting 18% of the annual turnover. KAA clarified that no KAA employee will lose their job with the incoming of Adani, despite the deal indicating that employees will have to renegotiate their contracts with Adani and will be forced to accept new conditions as one of the bases for hiring. The deal also indicates that there will be shipment of talents from abroad and that Kenyan government will assist the visas for the coming in workforce and that of their loved ones and places to stay. Brian Amoai, K24. Nairobi.
President William Ruto has nominated Public Prosecutions Secretary Dorcas Oduor for the position of the Attorney General and Beatrice Moy as the cabinet nominee for East African Community Affairs and Regional Development, closing the list of his cabinet that is awaiting the vetting process that is set to kick off this week on Thursday through to Sunday at the Parliament buildings. Oduor is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and holds a Master's of Arts degree in International Conflict Management from Nairobi University, a Bachelor's of Law degree from the same university, and a Diploma in Law from Kenya Schools of Law. She has previously served in various capacities, among them Deputy Director Public Prosecutions, Head of Economic, International and Emerging Crimes Department in the Office of the ODPP, Deputy Chief State Counsel, and as a State Counsel in the Department of Public Prosecution at the then Office of the Attorney General. Beatrice Moy, on the other hand, a social scientist and a consultant, is specialized in community management, having previously served as the county executive member in charge of water, irrigation, agriculture and land reclamation in Turkana County. She has also served as a director and a chair audit committee to the Rift Valley Water Service Board. She holds a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Social Sciences from Catholic University of East Africa and currently pursuing a master's degree in Governance and Ethics. Away from that, addressing religious extremism, promotion of religious tolerance and civic education on the rights and responsibilities of religious organizations are some of the recommendations of the task force set up in the aftermath of the devastating Shakahola massacre. The task force, established in May 2023, has today presented its comprehensive report to the president, having been mandated to investigate the systemic failures that allowed Mackenzie's cult to flourish and claim hundreds of lives. President William Ruto has pledged to swiftly act on the recommendations, emphasizing the need to uphold freedom of worship within the law.
The 17-member team, chaired by Reverend Mutava Musimi, has spent the past year analyzing the legal and regulatory landscape surrounding religious organizations in Kenya.
The abuse of religion, the use of religion to carry out very anti-religion things is what got our attention as a nation.
The report pinpoints critical gaps that have enabled extremist groups to operate unchecked. To address this, the task force recommends a multifaceted approach, including the enactment of new legislation specifically designed to regulate religious organizations, the creation of a dedicated Religious Affairs Commission, and the implementation of a hybrid regulatory model that balances self-regulation with government oversight. The report calls for amendments to existing laws to address religious extremism, educational reforms to promote religious tolerance, civic education on the rights and responsibilities of religious organizations, and enhanced mechanisms for reporting and addressing extremism.
I will, with dispatch and without wasting time, take the measures to ensure that we progress the good work you have done so that we can do what we all want. We can protect our right to worship God in all the ways that we choose to, and we also safeguard that freedom of religion in a way that recognizes our diversity, but also brings responsibility to the exercise of that freedom.
Paul Mackenzie of Good News International Church, who is at the center of the tragedy, is in police custody and has been charged with terrorism alongside 94 other co-defendants. They pleaded not guilty to the charges at a hearing in January. The 55 men and 40 women also face charges of murder, manslaughter, as well as child torture and cruelty in separate cases. David Kagina, K24, Nairobi.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's allies have sent a stern warning to any member of parliament who is planning to table a motion of impeachment against the second in command. According to a section of MPs and Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga, it will be political suicide for members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region who will append their signatures to support the motion reach the floor of the House. Our political affairs reporter Joel Chacha tells us more.
With speculations rife of axing Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from the Kenya Kwanza government through filing of a motion of impeachment, Gachagua's allies are breathing fire.
From the mountain, he represents us in that government. And therefore, attacking Rigathi Gachagua is attacking the mountain. Attacking Rigathi Gachagua in his political space as a deputy president is also attacking Kenya.
Let us not think that, in fact, it will be a business as usual to bring such a motion of a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, a person who comes from a particular region. This one, I can tell you, to bring a lot of backlash.
If the president has no confidence with his own deputy president, he should publicly come and say so. But if he has confidence in his deputy president, then he should, and also advise his members of parliament.
Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga has dared any member of parliament to table the motion, referring to Gachagua's political influence as one that cannot be downplayed.
That is an affront towards the mountain, and it is really an attack on us as a people. And we will not take it lying, but it has its consequences. Whoever feels that that is the way to go, we kindly tell them, bring it on, we will deal with it.
They further argue that the grounds for impeachment are invalid, as the second in command has dedicated himself to serve the Ruto-led government without question.
Hiyo maneno ya deputy president na impeachment, hiyo tunawagojea. Hatutakubali. We are not going to allow anybody to victimize anybody just because he says he loves his community or he is talking for his community. For example, sasa kama mnataka kuimpeach deputy president, mnataka kutuambia ile kazi ya Pombe alikuwa anafanya ni mbaya?
So surely, for me it's not a priority, and I am clear that that's not something I would support. And I think we have more urgent issues that we need to be discussing.
With that kind of thinking is somebody with very evil mind. Because what I have just tried to check around those crowds that actually I read, and eventually I just realized that actually people are just playing politics and bringing gimmicks and just trying to bring allegations against a single person.
Joel Chacha, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Independent Police Oversight Authority IPOA South Rift Regional Coordinator Josephat Kaimenyi now says that investigations into the shooting of MediaMax journalist Wanjeri Kariuki is at 80% complete. Wanjeri was shot 4 times by police officers, where 3 of the bullets lodged into her left thigh during the coverage of the anti-government protest 2 weeks ago.
On her crutches, Wanjeri walked out of the Central Police Station after recording a P3 statement, holding on to hope that police officers who collectively participated in her shooting that left her badly wounded are held culpable. Wanjeri says she's looking forward to be served nothing but justice.
I believe that they are going to give us the justice that we require. Not for me only, but for all the journalists, because I believe if I was attacked, it's on behalf of the other journalists who are in Nakuru and the country at large. So it's my prayer that they fast-track my investigation so that I can get my justice.
Josephat Kaimenyi, South Rift Regional Coordinator IPOA, has affirmed that investigations are so far 90% complete.
I want to assure Kenyans and members of the press and the media that we are on top of issues on the investigations of the harm that Wanjeri underwent. And as an organization IPOA, we sent our apology to her, and we wish her a quick recovery.
While the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution previously pointed an accusing finger at IPOA for conducting shoddy investigations, IPOA noted that lack of willingness from the public to sit in as witnesses has been a major challenge.
This will be most successful investigation that we are carrying, and we can assure you that we will not have any shoddy issue in this matter or any other matter that we are handling in this region.
Nakuru Journalists Association members accompanied Wanjeri in solidarity into various offices, including IPOA's, with their chairperson Joseph Openda affirming that there is hope in access to justice in Wanjeri's case.
We would want to urge the county police commander to collaborate with the agency to help them wherever they need, to give them the necessary assistance.
Wanjeri was shot 4 times by police officers, where 3 of the bullets lodged into her left thigh. The incident happened outside Faulu Bank along Kenyatta Avenue in Nakuru City Centre on the 16th of July during the coverage of the Gen Z protests. Mumbi Wambogo, K24 TV, Nakuru County.
Well, it's time for us to take a break right here on Punchline, but when we get back with tonight's discussion, discussing the Kenya that we want and what next for the country. Stick around for that.
Wapwani mpo? Kilifi